Let me introduce you to Honor's first pair of true wireless earbuds, charmingly christened the Magic Buds. These bad boys will cost you just 90 quid when they go on sale here in the UK, and yet despite that budget-friendly sub £100 asking price, they rock lots of premium features like active noise cancellation. And yeah, the Honor Magic Buds definitely sound a bit too good to be true. You got that Apple AirPod Pro style design and feature set, but for about a third of the price. Well, I've had the Honor Magic Buds lodged in my lug holes for about 2 weeks now, using them as my full-time personal headset, and this is what I think in my full review. Hooray! And for more of the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So first up, I think it's probably fair to say that Apple deserves some credit for inspiring the design of Honor's true wireless earbuds. This white pair certainly looks very, very similar indeed, of course, but you can also pick up the Honor Magic Buds in a robin's egg blue, if you like, very specific colour choice there. And unfortunately, yes, you do get the same stupid stem style design which Apple popularised, so I did admittedly feel a bit of a dickhead when I was out and about with these things. And unfortunately, you don't get an official IP rating on the Honor Magic Earbuds either. Most true wireless earbuds are at the very least splash resistant, no such joy here, so bear that in mind if you want something to keep you entertained while you're out jogging a lot, especially if you live here in the UK where we're kind of known for inclement and unpredictable weather. However, one aspect of the Honor Magic Earbuds design that I really enjoyed was the comfort levels. These things have got rubber ear tips, of course, just like the Apple AirPods Pro. That makes them super cozy for just fitting snugly into your lug holes, even for hours at a time, no problem whatsoever. They're crazy light at just 5 grams each, so you certainly won't feel weighed down by them, anything like that. And pairing up with a new phone or tablet or whatever you fancy is an absolute piece of piddle as well. You've got a little button here on the back of the Honor Magic Earbuds case. All you need to do is long press that for a couple of seconds or so. The indicator light inside will start flashing white, and that'll tell you that the buds are in pairing mode, and then they're good to go. Now, most true wireless earbuds come with some form of touch control as well, so you can control your music without having to reach into your pocket, your bag or whatever, and digging out your smartphone each time. Unfortunately, here on the Honor Magic Earbuds, they are a bit more basic than most other rivals. So by default, a double tap of either of the buds up near the top will pause or play your music. So another double tap, and it'll do the opposite. And meanwhile, if you press and hold your finger on the top of each bud for a couple of seconds or so, that'll either switch on or switch off active noise cancellation. And that's it. Absolutely no way of skipping tracks, changing the volume, anything like that, which is the kind of stuff you'd kind of hope to include in that touch control. You can thankfully customize the touch controls to a small extent using Huawei's AI Life app. You can download this for free from the Google Play Store. The functionality here is basic at best, but you do have a couple of handy little features, including being able to tell the approximate battery life left in the case, which is really good, because otherwise all you're going on is the indicator, which turns orange when it's kind of running a bit low and then red when it's basically dead. You can also update your firmware or tinker with those shortcuts. As far as the long press goes, you have to use that for the active noise cancellation, unfortunately. You can deactivate it if you don't want it, and there's also a fresh new awareness mode on here as well, which you can switch on or off. More on all that in a bit. With the double tap, you've got a bit more control over it all. You can separate the left and the right bud and have them do different things. So for instance, I've now got a double tap of the right bud, switch into the next track. But again, compared with most true wireless earbuds, it is a basic setup. Now, I'm kind of getting used to that double tap action now, but the first week or so I had the Magic Earbuds, I was really struggling. I found I'd be like tapping away, trying fast taps, slow taps, hard taps, soft taps, trying all kinds of different things to try and get it to work. Eventually, I seem to have sort of got the knack of it now after a couple of weeks of use, so touch wood, I can get it to work most of the time, not quite every time. Oh, I was tapping that one really vigorously. It's got a knack in my ear. And the Magic Earbuds do actually automatically pause your music or podcast, whatever you listen to, if you yank either of them out of your head as well, which is a nice feature. But then unfortunately, they don't then resume playback when you shove them back in again, which is kind of annoying. So then again, you're trying to get that double tap to work, otherwise eventually giving up and using your phone. Now let's talk about the sound quality here on the Honor Magic True Wireless Earbuds. And you know what? It's pretty damn decent for the price. You get a 10mm dynamic driver in there, and Honor has been really bigging up the bass qualities of this. I've got to say though, I did find the bass performance could be a little bit all over the place. So for instance, listening to some early Enter Shakira tracks, I found that the bass was ear-poundingly heavy. It was drowning out quite a lot of the rest of the track, whereas other rock and metal tracks, I'd be listening to it and it wouldn't sound like there was much bass at all going on. They sounded rather weak in comparison. But that minor grumble aside, I've definitely heard far worse sound quality from true wireless earbuds under that £100 mark. The full range is generally well covered, and you can sort of pick up on some of those finer details, if not quite all of them. And as for volume as well, no worries if you like to blast your tracks as well. If you attended too many rock concerts or club nights as a kid, these things go all the way up to to 11 on that top volume. It's also worth mentioning that there doesn't appear to be any aptX audio support here on the Honor Magic Earbuds, which is all to do with syncing up your video and your audio, but I had absolutely no problems whatsoever using these buds while watching a bit of Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, all of those streaming sites. Absolutely fine. They were matched up perfectly. So let's talk about the active noise cancellation feature, something that's really rare around this £90 price point. In fact, you generally have to end up paying around sort of £150 to £200 to get that kind of ANC feature on board. And what you got here on the Honor Magic Earbuds is dual external mics, which basically aim to pick up and eliminate as much environmental noise as possible to leave you in your own cozy little bubble, completely separated from external bullshit. I tried testing out the ANC without any music or podcasts or anything playing. I thought I could still quite happily have a conversation. Didn't really do much to drown out general clatter, but it does help out with low rumbles like traffic, train sounds, things like that, the kind of stuff that you'd generally be annoyed about if you're commuting, and so it's good in that respect. But of course, for it to be truly effective, you've got to have the right size of rubber tip, so you get a nice snug fit, no gaps or anything. Thankfully, you do get a selection of rubbery tips bundled with the Honor Magic Earbuds to fit your own particular lug holes. However, one big problem with the ANC that I did notice when I went outdoors was wind. As soon as you get any kind of even quite a gentle breeze, I found that really distorted the sound. All you can hear is that wind noise, which is really irritating. If you knock off the ANC, it actually goes away. So it's actually far better when you're outside to just leave ANC off, unless you're in an enclosed space. And as always, to be honest, if you want a proper dedicated pair of active noise cancelling headphones, I'd recommend the over-ear pairs. They do a great job of drowning out absolutely everything, perfect for lots of traveling. As I mentioned before, there is an awareness mode on these bad boys as well, and what this does is it uses those dual external mics to basically pump in all of the sound going on around you into your ears, so you can actually hear what's going on. And you might think this would be handy if you're like jogging and you want to listen to a podcast or something as well, but also hear what's going on, traffic sounds, so you're not about to get knocked over by a cyclist or a car or anything like that. I guess it could kind of work for that, but certainly if you're trying to suddenly have a conversation with someone, by the time you flicked to the awareness mode, they just stood there thinking like, what are you actually trying to do? If an announcement's going on, but again, you've just missed it by the time you actually activated that mode. This sort of thing only really works well on the likes of the Sony WH3s, where you literally cup your ear and it immediately kicks in, so instant feedback. And as I said before, I found I could have conversations with these things in and music playing on low anyway, even when ANC was active, so I wouldn't worry about it. But another good thing about those external mics is it does actually help to suppress any environmental noise when you're on a phone call as well, and the call quality with these things is actually pretty damn good, definitely as good as any other true wireless earbuds around the price point. However, the major weakness of the Honor Magic Earbuds, and the part that really makes me hesitate to recommend them, is the piss poor battery life. Unfortunately, each bud will only last you about 2.5 to 3 hours with that active noise cancellation turned on before it will die and I'll have to go back in the case for a recharge. So while they'll do you for a quick commute or anything like that, they certainly won't do you if you want to have them in your head all day long listening to music or whatever. And of course, if you're on a long haul trip at some point in the future when that becomes a thing again, then again, no good. And in comparison, you can get the likes of the Creative Outlay Golds, which are about 20 quid less, which lasts between sort of 10 and 12 hours on a single charge before they have to go back in the case, which is obviously a massive difference. And then when you do stick the Magic Buds back in their case, you'll get around sort of 3 to 4 full recharges before the case itself needs charging as well, which in itself ain't great either. So right, there's my full review of the Honor Magic True Wireless Earbuds after using them for a couple of weeks. As you can see, there's some good aspects to them. The fact that you get that ANC for under 100 quid, although it's not exactly a game-changing feature. The music quality is perfectly fine, but unfortunately little things like the battery life make it a tough recommendation. I'm starting to sound like a broken record because I constantly recommend the Creative Outlay Golds instead, because they are frankly bloody brilliant. For under £100 you get perfect battery life, excellent sound quality, great design and everything as well. But it'd be great to hear what you guys think as well. Please do smash your comments down below, plug subscribe, ding that notifications bell, do all that YouTube jazz, and have yourselves a lovely week. Cheers everyone, love you.